Welcome to Valley's Gold, a show about the people and places who feed and clothe us. On this episode, we learn about California's more unique crops. While unique to many of our viewers, these are staples for cultures throughout the world. So join me, Ryan Jacobsen, on this adventure.
Production funding for Valley's Gold is provided by
the Myers Water Bank and Wildlife Project, an educational outreach program working to teach students about water and wildlife issues in California. Field trips are free for all schools, and each trip's curriculum is based on learning about California water resources, valley agriculture, and native wildlife.
Everyone enjoys getting together to laugh, to talk, and mostly to eat. It sounds so simple, but the reality is that it takes a lot of hard work to feed us. The next time you sit down to eat, remember to thank our farmers, Garge Italian Incorporated since 1949 at 800-696-6108.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. At Brandt, our heroes are the men and women in the field, the folks who work hard to put food on our tables. Join us in celebrating the Valley's real heroes. Brandt, professional agriculture.
While known for their needles, cacti in many instances have edible parts. Recently, plots have been developed in the San Joaquin Valley to see if this product might reach a grocery store near you soon. To discuss this distinctive crop, I've been joined by Dr. Gary Banuelos as well as Dr. Claire Heinitz. Gary, Claire, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Gary, where are we?
Good question, Ryan. We're in a place called Parlier, which is southeast from Fresno, and actually our location now is the USDA ARS research facility. And there are about four locations throughout California.
Okay.
And each unit does specific research activities that are associated with the agriculture in that particular region of California.
And obviously Parlier is located right in the heart of the San Joaquin Valley and right in these very distinctive, very lush soils that are so good for agriculture.
Yes, that's correct, Ryan. On this side of the valley, yes, we do have good quality type soils, in contrast to on the west side where we have different type of soil and a different set of issues.
Got it. And this crop is going to tie all this together, but I'm going to jump to Claire. And Claire, we're on this research facility, but where exactly are we standing? We got some beautiful plants around us here.
Yeah, this isn't the typical field you see in this area with good soils, but this is our collection of cactus. And our unit is part of a larger network of gene banks all around the country that the USDA takes care of.
And this is the only type of collection like this in the United States.
Correct. This is the only resource of this type for edible cactus in the United States.
That's absolutely incredible because like I said, I'm just walking around here, just a real treat to get to see so many distinctive types of cacti. I think it's so appropriate when we're talking cacti that there's a lot of terminology and just a lot of the way the plant looks differently than the plants we're used to seeing on a daily basis. Where do we even start?
Correct. The one that you see behind me is growing sort of like a tree, and we refer to it in similar terms with some trunks and some branches, but really what we're actually looking at botanically is all stem, all of it.
Really? So it's all stems, and then one funny part you were kind of telling me that I never thought of in this way, but the needles almost would essentially be like leaves.
Right. The needles kind of evolutionarily come from parts of the plants that would have been leaves otherwise.
Got it. And I keep saying the word cacti, but really what's the official terminology used for this type here?
True. What we're looking at here, most of these are in the genus Opuntia.
Opuntia,
So
okay.
technically we would call them Opuntia.
And if I see it in the grocery store, the more commonly name I may see it under is, you said prickly pear?
True. So in the US, the common name for these is prickly pear, but in other countries, the fruit can be called tuna or choconosle or cactus pear or Indian fig.
Got it. And so when we go through the growing cycle for cacti, I do know that for a fact it's a permanent crop.
Yeah, as Claire mentioned with our stem, or the leaf-like part of the plant, actually when we want to reproduce that, we will actually cut a slice out of that, let it form a scar-like material, and then place it into the soil. And after X number of weeks, it will begin to sprout little roots.
Pretty simplistic process.
Yes, actually, it is. But it does need water.
Absolutely.
And many people think it doesn't, but it does. And also it's unique about the plant, it's able to extract some of its water requirements from the atmosphere itself.
Got it, okay. And Claire, I think the best way to describe these are parent plants. These plants will actually be reproduced and sent to other places, if not throughout the country, but throughout the world.
Correct. We function here as a repository, and we don't like to think of it as a museum of different cactus types. It's like a library. So we keep the different types here, and they range from usefulness for fruit or vegetables or forage for animals or just the wild relatives that may be useful.
And the San Joaquin Valley, we talked about the special conditions that these grow in. The San Joaquin Valley, I guess, would be considered an arid environment where these are doing exceptionally well. These have some unique situations that allow them to grow a little faster here in Parlero than maybe they would be found in their native environments.
Right. We're definitely growing these here, giving them the best chance to stay healthy year after year and maintain them as a resource.
And of course, we're trying to find that commercial application that may be out there. And I know, Gary, that's where a lot of your research has been centered, in the sense that this is potentially a up-and-coming crop within the San Joaquin Valley.
It does like an arid environment, it's drought resistant, and then the part that I was trying to evaluate was its ability to tolerate high salt, high boron, conditions that exist in the west side of Central California.
Well, Gary, we've talked about the application of these plants to the western soils of the San Joaquin Valley. Why might it be a good fit?
It's a good fit because within this collection, there are some types that are actually very salt and boron tolerant and drought resistant, of course, so they're able to survive in the west side. And part of their way of surviving is that the plant goes through changes, physiological changes, which can also have positive nutritional and health benefits. So what we produce in the west side is unique. It cannot be produced elsewhere here in California.
And Gary, ultimately, what part of the crop are you trying to end up with?
The higher cash value part of the plant is the fruit itself.
Got it.
And actually within the fruit, if you want to look at really the most valuable commodity, would be the dye, a natural dye.
A natural dye, and is that used for things such as clothing and articles?
Absolutely. It's actually exported to countries like China.
We've talked about the potential of this crop. Is there actual commercial applications in existence today?
Oh yes, in the Salinas Valley, there south from Salinas down to King City, is probably the largest production here in the United States, and I believe that's circa 300 acres. And they produce products for the whole United States. So here for the west side, this is a potential to see if we can actually introduce it with our salt and boron tolerant varieties, a new crop for an area that receives so little water.
As well as the potential of growing the market for this particular crop.
Absolutely, and especially in the health sector, and especially for the California health conscientious folks.
Got it. And a lot of these are considered spineless in the sense that they're still spines, but not necessarily the big, thick ones. This has to be a running joke around here. How do you harvest these things?
Carefully.
Carefully.
Very carefully. You know, in the industry, there are a lot of different tricks, but in general, we just wear gloves and get tough and use tools.
So, any words of wisdom when it comes to what does it taste like, and is it something you can try, and what's your best way of eating it?
I would just say to try it. That's the best way to try it.
Well, Gary, Claire, thank you so much for having me out here today. I'm not only excited to learn about this very special crop that we have here, but I'm also really happy I'm leaving without any kind of accident here.
Wait till you get home.
Exactly. Wait till I'm on the truck on the way out. So, but again, thank you so much for the opportunity to come out and visit what I consider to be one of our more unique crops here in the San Joaquin Valley.
Thanks for visiting.
And welcome to our world.
Thank you. I'm at a farm in Sanger to learn about a unique crop, lemongrass, which is commonly used as a culinary herb in Asian cuisine. With me I have farmer Xiong Pao Her as well as Michael Yang with the University of California Cooperative Extension. Michael, Xiong, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for coming too.
Well, Xiong, you have a beautiful farm here. Tell me about it.
You know why my farm is beautiful? Because a lot of work for that.
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
How many different varieties of produce do you grow here?
There's over 100 kind of variety.
Over 100 different varieties.
Yep.
On how many acres?
Like 20 acres.
Over 100 different varieties on 20 acres. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And Xiong, how did you ever become a farmer?
Because 1980 I came to America and I go to school. I cannot looking for a job.
Okay.
You know why? Because I no skill.
Yeah.
Then I talked to my teacher. My teacher said, "You like farm? Then you go farmer. Then you go apply for the farmer market."
So you became a farmer and started selling at farmers markets?
Yeah, I became a farmer 1990 for the farmer market.
Okay.
Until today.
Do you have family that's involved in the operation with you?
Yeah, all my wife and my kid helping me.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I'm visiting you today is because you grow lemongrass. And Michael, I'm going to jump over to you. What is lemongrass? It's actually a crop that I think very few of our viewers will actually know anything about.
Yes, lemongrass is actually a crop, but when if you don't know it, you look at it, you probably think that's a grass. That's called lemongrass, and it's an herb.
And it's a newer crop. It was something that came over with a lot of the Asians that came over in the late
Right.
probably 70s or
Yes.
80s.
Yes.
And it's a
right.
crop that's very popular here in the valley. And the one thing that amazes me about lemongrass is for those folks that have actually had the opportunity to smell it, it smells like
excellent.
lemon. I
Yes.
mean, and it's unbelievable. Even
Right
as
now, I can smell from the air right
we
now.
can smell
Yeah.
it, very, very pungent, very, very lemony. You talked about it being an herb. I mean, what is the uses? What do these folks use it for? Is it blended with other foods?
Yeah, a lot of people they used to making lemongrass tea.
Lemongrass tea.
Yeah,
And
so-
how do you make lemongrass tea?
Just basically like any other tea.
You steep it in the
Yes.
hot water.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's because made of lemongrass. It's a lemongrass tea.
I think of this as more of a perennial crop. It's a crop that as long as you cover it every year, will make it through the winter time, and you can actually grow it for multiple years.
Yes. You have to cover it in the winter time. Otherwise, it's gonna die all the way down. You have to replant.
At freezing, it will absolutely kill the plant.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And when we talk about the growing season for lemongrass, what does that consist of? When is it? Is it green year round if it's in the tunnels?
Yeah, if it's in a tunnel, it'd be green year round. But in the winter time, as you see, there's some tunnel behind us. They can grow some in there and keep throughout the year.
Got it. And when it comes to harvest, what are the harvest months for lemongrass?
The harvest, you can harvest year round because you cover it. Yeah, so it depends on the market they want it. You can open it and go in there and harvest.
So Xiong, how do you harvest lemongrass?
I harvest the lemongrass. I take the shower, then disking the lemongrass, the whole piece.
Got it.
Then cut it. Then you peel the old skin, the yellow skin out. Then you cut the leaf out.
Okay, yeah.
You put it in the box, like
Yes.
a 40-pound box.
40 pound of lemongrass.
Yeah,
Wow, that must be a big box.
a big box.
Yeah. And then at that point, you'll put it in the box, and then you said farmer's market, but you'll ship it commercially to many places in the United States?
You can, yes.
And Michael, is there a lot of different varieties of lemongrass, or is lemongrass only one variety?
It's like three variety,
Three
a
variety,
green
okay.
one, a red one, and a seeded one. I kind of like the one that they grow here.
Yeah.
Because it's give out the better flavor. All the variety they use as a medicinal, purpose.
And when you say medicinal purposes, for what purposes do they use it?
Make a tea. Let's say if somebody's, if you have a high fever, you can drink that lemongrass tea for, a few hours, few days, and then make that fever, go away.
And Xiong, how do you like to eat lemongrass? What's your favorite way?
You make your soup.
Make a soup?
Make a chicken soup.
Oh, chicken soup.
Whatever. Just you say soup.
Yeah.
You cut a small piece like a 3 or 4 inch, then you punch, then you put it in your soup.
Got it.
It is good flavor.
And do you cook it with the whole soup, or do you cook it just for a short time?
The whole soup.
The whole soup, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Xiong, Michael, thank you so much for sharing this incredible information about lemongrass, a crop that I'm sure a lot of our viewers are going to have to go try now.
Thank you for coming too.
I'm here at Fresno State's Horticulture, Greenhouses, and Nursery to learn about one of the most widely used culinary herbs in the world, basil. To learn more, I have with me Calliope Correia. Calliope, thanks for having me out here today.
Thank you.
Well, tell me about this wonderful unit at Fresno State.
So this is the Horticulture Enterprise. We consist of 8 greenhouses, a full production nursery with perennials, shade trees, annuals. We do a pretty big selection of veggie crops, so transplants for the home gardener. And then we also have field production and a small acreage of organic research land and some more field research.
And you're here on Fresno State's campus, so this is a learning environment where you have students out here that are helping you tend and bring in these crops.
Exactly. That's the main purpose of the whole farm, actually, is for students to come out and get some hands-on experience and grow some crops and see the whole process from start to finish.
Before I jump to the featured crop we're going to talk about, all of these crops can be found here on campus for purchase.
Correct. We sell most of them through the farm market, and then we also hold sales out here once a semester or so where people can come out, buy their plants, buy fresh stuff.
And how did you get this position at Fresno State?
So I graduated in '02 with my bachelor's in plant science. Went out into the world for a little bit, and then in 2007 I was hired on as the instructional support technician for the unit, and I've been here ever since.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, you're going to be my resident expert on basil today. I don't know anything about basil, but it's one of those crops that's an herb. A lot of folks don't think of herbs being grown here in the valley, but you're here to tell me differently.
I love basil. Basil's my favorite.
It's your favorite, and you got not just one variety, but you got 3 different varieties here on campus.
Correct. We have cinnamon basil, cardinal basil, and then the popular sweet basil.
And they all have a little bit different flavors to them, a little bit different taste, and actually a lot different taste, because I taste that cinnamon one, and that one really has a little bit of a bite to it. Absolutely, right. And they're all fantastic, but why basil? Why is you love this food?
I love basil. Basil has a lot of purposes. So you can use it culinary, you can use it in drinks, you can use it medicinally, you can use the flowers for arrangements, and it really loves growing in our summers here.
And that's one thing that I love that you mentioned the flowers, because we happen to be here kind of towards the tail end of what the basil growing season would be here in the valley, and yet you tell me those flowers you use in arrangements and everything.
Right. So we use the leaves for production for bundles of fresh basil for culinary use. And then once they start flowering, we cut the flowers and use them in arrangements that we sell at the market.
Got it. So what does it take to grow basil? When does this whole process start?
Basil is actually really easy to grow. We start it in the greenhouses from seeds. We usually start about January. By March-ish, depending how the weather goes, they're ready to plant out in the field. And from there, we plant them straight out in the field, and we harvest them all the way through to about October.
And that's what you told me. These plants, you'll go through here many, many times throughout the summer to be able to harvest it, but they just keep growing.
Yep. You can harvest, they'll come back, harvest, and keep going.
Any disease or insects that are real problematic for basil?
They're actually pretty resilient. The flowers tend to attract a lot of beneficial insects, which kind of help keep the balance in check. These ones we haven't had any problems on. We haven't had to spray or anything, so.
Basil is one of those crops that is super popular for the home gardener. Any recommendations for growing this at home?
Basil is really easy to grow at home. It just needs a spot in full sun. You want to keep the water, keep them moist. and don't let them dry out in between waterings. They'll keep going, they'll keep producing a lot of leaves, so every time you harvest, they're gonna grow again, flush out. You can put it, they don't have to be in just the vegetable garden, they can be in the flower garden, plant them in your front yard. They're a beautiful plant all through the summer.
And that's one thing that's neat is that you said they can take the heat of the San Joaquin Valley. I mean, these are out in full sun.
Yeah, these have been growing all summer.
And they look absolutely fabulous. And as far as the different types, we talked about the different flavors. There's a lot of different flavors, so people probably want to experiment and make sure they find that right variety that they like for themselves.
There's all different kinds of flavors of basil: cinnamon, lime, lemon, Thai basil. There's all different kinds of basil.
You tell me it's just about the end of the growing season for this. You'll disc this under. Now, can you go back into the same spot with this particular basil again, or do you rotate crops?
We'll probably rotate it. We have a lot of field here. Next year we want to grow more varieties of basil, probably 6 or 7 different varieties, and we'll just do it in a different spot in the field.
Got it. And I think I'm going to like this answer a lot. Basil, there's lots of different things to do with it. You told me people eat it almost as a salad. Obviously it's a topping. You can mix it in with all different kind of culinary types of delights, but you have a very unique way that you like to enjoy basil.
Basil mojito. So instead of mint, you use basil. And you can use basil in a lot of different types of adult beverages. It gives a great flavor, especially in the summertime for those colder beverages. Just replace mint or anything that you use with basil. And there's so many flavors, it's really good.
That's something I definitely was not prepared to hear with basil, but like basil, I mean, I'm out here tasting these. These are incredibly flavorful, incredible. Like you said, you talked about the different varieties. There's just so many opportunities to do things with basil that I think we just don't take advantage of here, but grown here locally in the valley and something that just like adds a lot of different flavors.
Absolutely, use it fresh, use it cooked. Basil is wonderful.
When it comes to preservation, can you do much with basil as far as preservation? Can you save it for the winter months?
You can dry it, just dry it in a cool spot, and it lasts for a month.
Well, Calliope, thank you so much. It was an awesome opportunity to come out here today to learn about basil and the many uses that we can use this great plant in.
Well, thanks for coming out, and I hope you learn to love basil as much as I do.
Absolutely, thank you so much. I'm in central Fresno to see what it takes to receive, sort, and ship locally grown products that are part of a on-the-go farmer's market. I've been joined by Jenny Saklar, Operations Manager at Ooooby. Jenny, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
What is Ooooby? That's one of the most unusual sounding names I've ever heard.
Ooooby is out of our own backyards, and we're an on-the-go farmer's market that delivers really just out of this world fresh, organic, local produce to many different neighborhoods throughout the central San Joaquin Valley.
Great, so you guys do say a farmer's market on the go. Not a term I've really heard before. Define what that is.
Sure, so we put together a mixed box of fruits and vegetables, all grown locally from certified organic farms, and we deliver them out to neighborhoods in 22 different locations.
Got it. And so you say from farms throughout the Central Valley, what type of farms are you working with?
We work mostly with small and local growers, anywhere from 5 acres to 80 to 100 within the region, where we can bring in just the top quality produce. Yeah.
One of the really exciting things, Jenny, is that these products are available year-round here in the valley. Obviously, it changes throughout the seasons, but talk to me about what type of different products you're packing in these boxes.
Sure, we have a really just wonderful succession of fruits and vegetables available to us here in the valley, and we put into our box what is fresh and available at any particular week. So it's at ripe peakness and just the most delicious.
And when it comes to where these end up, what type of consumer are you looking for that wants this product?
We're looking for people that want to eat fresh and local. We want people that are health conscious, that are interested in trying new and interesting produce, as well as enjoying kind of the staple products.
Now, Ooooby is a nonprofit. How long have you guys been around, and how'd you get involved in the organization?
Ooooby is owned and operated by Food Commons Fresno, which is a nonprofit trust as well as a community benefit corporation.
Got it. And how'd you get involved?
I got involved because we here in the valley are in the midst of just the best produce imaginable in all of the United States and possibly the world, and I wanted to be a part of feeding people.
When it comes to the product packing and getting this distributed? You talked about 3 times a week, but what does it really take to get that from the farm to the fork?
Sure, it takes a grand orchestration because we have to follow what's at peak ripeness and availability at any given moment. As you know, agriculture is constantly shifting. And so putting together a beautiful mix of produce that can be enjoyed within a week of consumption is also really important.
And we talked about Ooooby. They just recently celebrated their first anniversary.
Yes.
And so what did you guys do to do that?
You know, we had a good old bash out here at our hub site, and we invited the public. We had about 200 people join us. And most importantly, we celebrated that we have delivered 25,000 boxes in our first year.
Wow, that's incredible.
Thank you.
In these boxes, there's lots of what I would consider to be more common fruits and veggies, but a lot of times there's also some that folks just may not know what to do with. Do you guys offer recipes for what to do with this product once you receive it?
We do. Every week we put together a newsletter which details where the produce comes from, the farm it's from, and different recipes on how to enjoy it.
And I know one thing that's very important here is your employees. You can't do this. Obviously, this is a huge network of just logistics trying to come together to deliver this many boxes. Talk about your employees.
Sure. We have a great team here that's been with us just from conceptualization to implementation, and we have some really amazing team members on our customer happiness team. So we call our customer service representative customer happiness, and we can actually now service our customer base in both Spanish and Hmong languages.
And one thing I was amazed with is the fact that it's not just local fruits and vegetables, you also have some add-ons that you do with the boxes.
Absolutely. It's really easy for a customer to do some of their basic grocery shopping through the Ooooby program. So we offer things like bread, olive oil, vinegars, dried fruits and nuts. We even have a local chocolatier called Maluka that we offer in the box, and a local coffee roast.
So you can just about get your full week's supply of groceries almost from this one box.
Exactly. We try to make it easy.
And when it comes to folks that are trying to reach you and that want to learn more about this program, how can they do that?
Sure. Easiest is to find us online, as well as give us a call on our hotline, 559-ORGANIC.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much. I've learned so much about Ooooby, which has to be one of the coolest acronyms I think I've ever seen, as well as the importance this organization plays in the local community.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Our time learning about unique California crops has come to an end. I hope you'll join me next time for more Valley's Gold.
Valley's Gold is produced through a partnership between the Fresno County Farm Bureau and Valley PBS. Production funding for Valley's Gold is provided by
the Myers Water Bank and Wildlife Project, an educational outreach program working to teach students about water and wildlife issues in California. Field trips are free for all schools, and each trip's curriculum is based on learning about California water resources, valley agriculture, and native wildlife.
Everyone enjoys getting together to laugh, to talk, and mostly to eat. It sounds so simple, but the reality is that it takes a lot of hard work to feed us. The next time you sit down to eat, remember to thank our farmers, Garge Italian Incorporated since 1949 at 800-696-6108.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. At Brandt, our heroes are the men and women in the field, the folks who work hard to put food on our tables. Join us in celebrating the Valley's real heroes. Brandt, professional agriculture.